A very good evening and welcome to the news at 6. I'm Tracy Shilshi, and in the next 30 minutes I'll be taking you through the top developing stories of the day. Let's start with the headlines. Justice delayed is justice denied, says Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu on his decision to disqualify rebel JDU MP Sharad Yadav and Ali Anwar Ansari. Explains that disqualification of a member of legislature should be decided within 3 months to prevent political defections. There's no link between Ram Janmabhoomi and elections, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi while campaigning in Gujarat. Congress and Sunni Waqf Board also distanced themselves from Counsel Kapil Sibal's stand in the Supreme Court. RBI keeps repo rate unchanged in its fifth bi-monthly policy for financial year 2017-18. Retains economic growth forecast for the current fiscal to 6.7%, while raising inflation forecast between 4.3 and 4.7%. And US President Trump ignores all calls for peace in the Middle East. Expected to make an announcement later today on shifting Israel's capital to Jerusalem. US State Department to initiate multi-year process to relocate US Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Top story this evening. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu today spoke out on his reportedly swift decision to disqualify rebel JDU MP Sharad Yadav and Ali Anwar Ansari. On the 4th of December, Chairman Naidu had disqualified the two JDU rebels from Rajya Sabha on a petition filed by the JDU on the 2nd of September. The decision was one of the most prompt ones taken in the history of Rajya Sabha. However, some left leaders questioned the move. Stating that justice delayed is justice denied, the chairman said that disqualification of a member of legislature should be decided by the presiding officer in about 3 months to thwart political defections. He also said that such applications were dragged with a view to save the membership of the person who have otherwise incurred disqualification, or even to save the government, which enjoys majority only because of such type of persons. The JDU had sought disqualification of Sharad Yadav and Ansari, claiming that they revolted against the party.
I would encourage all the commissions to make a concerted, sincere effort towards speeding up disposal of cases registered with them. They must ensure timely and correct information for the citizens. The central and state information commissions are a bridge between public authorities and citizens.
In other news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi accused the Congress of linking the Ram issue to the Lok Sabha elections and also attacked senior leader Kapil Sibal's arguments in the Supreme Court for deferring hearing the matter till after, in fact, the 2019 polls. However, both the Congress and Waqf Board have cleared their stand over the matter. Here's a report.
સુપ્રીમ કોર્ટ પર તમે બીજી વકીલની દલીલો કરો ને ભાઈ, બંધારણની કલમો ટાંકો. લોકસભાની ચૂંટણી છે માટે અને કોઈ વકફ બોર્ડ ચૂંટણી લડે છે ભાઈ? કોંગ્રેસ વાળા કહે છે આ તો કપિલ સિબ્બલનો પોતાના વિચારો છે. શું વકફ બોર્ડ ચૂંટણી લડે છે? ચૂંટણી લડવાના વિચારો વકફ બોર્ડના છે? અરે ચૂંટણી કોંગ્રેસ પાર્ટી લડે છે અને તમને લાગે છે કે સુપ્રીમ કોર્ટની અંદર રામ મંદિરનો જે કઈ નિર્ણય થાય એના કારણે એમને રાજકીય લાભ અને ગેરલાભ આ જોવાનું કે ભારતનું ભલું થાય એ જોવાનું હોય.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi commenting on Kapil Sibal's court argument that the hearing on the Ayodhya case be deferred till the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. Sibal is representing the Sunni Waqf Board in the Ayodhya dispute. Prime Minister Modi was addressing an election rally in Gujarat's Dhanduka, where he questioned the logic behind Sibal's argument, asking how the two issues are linked.
સુપ્રીમ કોર્ટની અંદર રામ મંદિરનો જે કઈ નિર્ણય થાય એના કારણે એમને રાજકીય લાભ અને ગેરલાભ આ જોવાનું કે ભારતનું ભલું થાય એ જોવાનું હોય.
However, the Sunni Waqf Board was quick to disown Kapil Sibal's argument and said that it had never asked for deferment of the case till 2019. Even the Congress party has distanced itself from Sibal's stand, stating that he was there as a lawyer and not a party person.
कपिल साहब तो मेरे ज़रूर वकील हैं, मगर सवाल ये है कि हमारे उनके वर्ड्स से कभी ये भी झलकता है कि वो एक किसी पार्टी के लीडर हैं। मैं वकील की हैसियत से उनको जानता हूँ, मैं पार्टी की हैसियत से नहीं जानता हूँ, लेकिन उनका कहना गलत है। मैं चाहता हूँ इस मसले को जल्द से जल्द फैसला हो जाए। बस
सर, क्या आपको लगता है कि आप लोगों से बात करके उन्होंने ये बात करी?
बात तो वो हुई थी, लेकिन ये बातें सामने नहीं आई थी।
सोच के बोलना चाहिए, मेरी सलाह है उनको, क्योंकि उनके तो कैबिनेट के कुलीग्स हैं जिन्होंने पता नहीं किस किस के मुकदमे लिए हैं। मैंने अभी बताया, पत्रकार सम्मेलन में भी बताया। तो अगर उनको सिद्धांतिक रूप में आपत्ति है कि कौन वकील किसका मुकदमा लड़े, अगर वो किसी दल का हो तो दल कार्रवाई करे, तो कर लो कार्रवाई फिर अपने मंत्रियों पर।
On Tuesday, the Supreme Court had adjourned the hearing in the Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid title dispute case to the 8th of February next year. The apex court also rejected the submission of the Sunni Waqf Board and others that hearing of appeals in the case be conducted in July 2019 after the general elections. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. The nation is remembering Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar on his death anniversary today. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid floral tributes to Baba Saheb at the Parliament House lawns. Other leaders, including former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, Union Ministers Rajnath Singh and Thawar Chand Gehlot, and Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge also paid tributes to Ambedkar. In Mumbai, thousands of followers paid rich tributes to Baba Saheb at his memorial Chaitya Bhumi. Maharashtra Governor Vidyasagar Rao and Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis also visited Chaitya Bhumi near Shivaji Park in Dadar. The architect of the Indian Constitution passed away on this day in 1956. On to more national news, and Cyclone Okhi has weakened into a depression and will not hit the Gujarat coast near Surat as earlier predicted. However, an IMD release warned that the sea condition would be rough along and off South Gujarat and adjoining North Maharashtra coast during the next 12 hours. Nearly half a dozen rallies by campaigners from the BJP and Congress scheduled for yesterday and today had to be cancelled. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's rally at Surat too had to be postponed. Over 3,000 people had been evacuated from 29 coastal villages in Surat. Cyclone Okhi, which has already claimed 25 lives in Kerala, had moved northwards over the last 2 days. As Okhi passed the coast of Mumbai on Tuesday, the city witnessed the highest December rainfall in 142 years, with Colaba receiving 82.2 millimeters of rainfall and Santa Cruz receiving 53.8 millimeters in just 24 hours. The Reserve Bank of India has kept the repo rate unchanged in its fifth bi-monthly policy for the financial year 2017-18. The apex bank raised the inflation forecast for the remaining of the current fiscal year to 4.3 to 4.7%. The RBI also retained the economic growth forecast for the current fiscal to 6.7%. Here are the details.
The central bank did not bring reprieve to loan borrowers as the monetary policy panel voted in favor of a status quo. The repo rate, or the rate at which RBI lends to the banks, has been retained at 6% and reverse repo rate at 5.75%. The cash reserve ratio, which is the amount of deposits banks park with RBI, is also unchanged at 4%.
The MPC took note of the upside pressures from food and fuel prices on evolving cost of living conditions and inflation expectations. Our surveys indicate that corporates are also contending with rising input cost conditions and higher risks of pass-through to retail prices in the near term.
The RBI has also said that shortfalls in Kharif production and Rabi sowing pose downside risks to the outlook for agriculture. However, it indicated pickup in credit growth in recent months and stressed that recapitalization of public sector banks may help improve credit flows further.
That large distressed borrowers are being referenced to the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code proceedings. Public sector banks are being recapitalized, and this should enhance allocative efficiency. In the view of the MPC, all these factors should help to create conducive financial conditions for nurturing higher growth.
Reacting to the announcement, Sensex closed 205 points lower at 32,597, while Nifty fell 74 points to 10,044. Industry leaders also seemed disappointed.
We feel sad, the industry is sad that the RBI has only been focusing and concentrating on containing the inflation. If you see the inflation for the last many months, that the inflation is absolutely under control.
5 of 6 MPC members voted in favour of a status quo, while 1 voted for a policy rate reduction of 25 basis points. The committee had last cut the key lending rate by 25 basis points in August this year.
The RBI has left its policy stance neutral. That leaves the door open for a rate move at its next meeting in February. The RBI has also cautioned of lurking inflation worries amid signs of surging fuel prices. Reporting from Delhi, with camera person DK Pandey, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
And here's a look at what else made news across the country today in Nationwide. Uttar Pradesh has become the first state to endorse the centre's draft bill that makes instant triple talaq a cognizable and non-bailable offence. The draft law provides for 3 years imprisonment and a fine to a Muslim man trying to divorce his wife by uttering talaq 3 times. The UP government approved the proposal at a meeting of the state cabinet chaired by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath late Tuesday. A premature baby who was delivered in Delhi's Max Hospital and wrongly declared dead last week has died during treatment. The family has now demanded that the doctors of Max Hospital be arrested for negligence. A panel formed by the Delhi government to look into the case on Tuesday found Max Hospital guilty of not following prescribed medical norms in dealing with the newborn infants. Seven Maoists, including 5 women, were gunned down in an encounter with the police in Maharashtra's Gadchiroli district on Wednesday. As per police officials, the skirmish took place in Zanganur forest near Khalid village. A search operation has been launched and the bodies of Maoists are being retrieved from the forest. The National Green Tribunal today directed the Delhi, Haryana and Punjab governments to file a detailed action plan by Thursday on how to tackle air pollution. During the hearing, the Delhi government filed an action plan suggesting that the odd-even rule of rationing private vehicles will be implemented without any exemptions. But the NGT asked the Government Council to file a detailed report, including details of exemptions given in the vehicle rationing plan. A quick break here. Up next, we'll get you the top international stories.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha Television.
There is a cliched term which is overzealously being used by men, women, a term like beauty with brain.
I've never used the term beauty with brains. I've always said that a human with a golden heart.
Juggling your workouts, your beauty regimes, along with, just getting into the pages of the medicine books. How did you really manage?
I would tell that to myself 24 hours, each hour 60 minutes, each minute 60 seconds. You have to make most of it.
The ladies or the girls who win the Miss World title, generally their next destination becomes Bollywood?
Bollywood is fun, but I mean, I'm 20 right now. I have so many ahead of me.
Shashi Tharoor, he's a very respectable politician, but he took a dig at your name.
It was just something he wanted to say, and I don't think I was really a part of it. I'm just a kid and I take jokes and I give back.
Your sweet little gesture where you shared your wardrobe with Miss South Africa.
Indians really know how to live together and women support each other, and that is something that is what Miss World is about.
Watch Open and Candid with Miss World 2017, Manashi Chillar, only on Rajya Sabha television.
From a regional power to an assertive global leader.
Image building is a very complex exercise. You can gain on some fronts, but you can lose on other fronts.
India is changing, and there will have to be give and take. The old days of colonialism are over.
We have a strategic partnership agreement that includes areas of cooperation in all fields, including security and defense.
India is taking confident strides on the global stage.
Pakistan is now Terroristan.
New friendships, stronger ties. Join me, Tracy Shilshi, every Monday at 10 p.m. as I speak to India's foreign policy elite. Catch all the action on India's World, only on Rajya Sabha TV.
Enter the majestic forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan and you'll come across the Jaipur column. A gift to the Viceroy from Savai Madho Singh, the Maharaja of Jaipur, to commemorate the creation of the new capital. The 145-meter high column is crowned with 6 pointed crystal stars on a bronze lotus, and inside the stone shaft runs a steel tube which weighs a little more than 5 tons. The base of the column has text conceived by Lord Irwin and Sir Edwin Lutyens inscribed on it.
Welcome back. Let's get you some international news. And in a move which could fuel regional tensions in the Arab world, Donald Trump will recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital on Wednesday. Even as Israel welcomed the move, there is outrage in Palestine over the decision. In taking this action, Trump will fulfill a major campaign promise, doing what every U.S. president has avoided doing since 1948. In a decision which upends decades of U.S. policy and risks fueling violence in the Middle East, U.S. President Donald Trump will recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital on Wednesday. With Trump's announcement, the U.S. State Department will also initiate the multi-year process to relocate the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. While Israel has welcomed the move, Palestinians and Arab leaders have warned that moving the American embassy to Jerusalem could have dangerous repercussions. World leaders too have expressed apprehensions over Trump's decision. China has warned that the decision could fuel tensions in the region. The British Foreign Secretary has said that he was concerned about planned U.S. recognition of Jerusalem, while Turkey too has called the decision unlawful.
对地区矛盾可能激化感到担忧。耶路撒冷地位问题复杂敏感，各方都应着眼于地区的和平与安宁。
Amerika Büyükelçiliğini Kudüs'e taşıma niyetinde olduğunu ifade ediyor veya İsrail'in başkenti olarak Kudüs'ün tanınması ihtimalinden bahsediliyor.
You know, we view the reports that we've heard with concern because we think that Jerusalem obviously should be part of the final settlement between the Israelis and the Palestinians, a negotiated settlement that we want to see, and we have no plans ourselves to move our embassy.
The city's fate is one of the thorniest issues between Israel and the Palestinians. Israel has always regarded Jerusalem as its capital city, while the Palestinians claim East Jerusalem as the capital of a future Palestinian state. In recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital, the United States will become the first country to do so since the foundation of the state in 1948. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And here are some updates from across the world in Global Buzz. Britain foiled an Islamist suicide plot to kill Prime Minister Theresa May with a bomb in Downing Street. Security services believe the plotters planned to launch an improvised explosive device at Downing Street. Police officials revealed that it had prevented 9 terror attacks in the UK in the past year, but several attackers have still got through. A 159 individuals detained in a corruption sweep in Saudi Arabia agreed to pay a financial settlement. It came after the kingdom's powerful crown prince launched an unprecedented purge against high-level princes, businessmen, officials and military officers. The declaration was made by Saudi Arabia's Attorney General. The arrests were overseen by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The U.S. House of Representatives has condemned ethnic cleansing of Rohingya Muslims and called on Myanmar's leadership to end attacks on minorities in the northern Rakhine state. The House passed a resolution urging immediate restoration of humanitarian access to Rakhine state, where unrest has forced over 600,000 Rohingya Muslims to flee to Bangladesh. Several people were injured in a train crash on Tuesday near the German city of Dusseldorf. As per sources, a passenger train of the regional provider National Express drove into a freight train from DB Cargo in the town of Merschbusch. Now, according to the police officials, about 50 people had been injured in the train crash. The wildfire in western U.S. state of California has killed a person and injured a firefighter. According to local authorities, the fire has burned down at least 150 buildings and forced 27,000 residents to evacuate. The burnt area covered 200 square kilometers. Firefighters said that the fire is hard to contain due to strong winds. The county has declared a state of emergency. Russia has been banned from the 2018 Winter Olympic Games. The decision by the International Olympic Committee has been taken over by Russia's alleged state-orchestrated doping program. However, clean Russian athletes would be allowed to compete, but under the Olympic flag.
The Executive Board of the International Olympic Committee resumed its two-day meeting in Lausanne on Wednesday, hours after banning Russia from the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Games. The Russian Olympic Committee has been banned from competing after it was found there was unprecedented systematic manipulation of the anti-doping system. However, in a bid to protect innocent athletes, Russians can compete as Olympic athletes of Russia as long as they can show they have a doping-free background.
I don't see any reason there for a boycott by the Russian athletes because we allow the clean Russian athletes there to participate. We think that these clean Russian athletes can be more about building a bridge into the future of a cleaner sport than erecting a new wall between Russia and the Olympic movement.
The IOC has also decided to suspend Russian Olympic Committee President Alexander Zhukov as an IOC member, while Russian Deputy Prime Minister Vitaly Mutko, who was sports minister at the time of the Sochi Games, was also banned from any future participation at the Olympics.
Сразу скажу, достаточно противоречивая. Там есть как положительные, так и отрицательные стороны. Если говорить о положительных сторонах, то Международный олимпийский комитет допустил всех российских спортсменов, чистых российских спортсменов.
While most countries have supported the action against systemic doping, they have also called for protection of the rights of individual athletes.
中国政府一贯坚持反对使用兴奋剂的立场。 同时，我们也认为必须保护所有干净运动员的合法权益，维护体育运动的。
It's a very strong statement by the IOC, and it's an appropriate statement. I think what we saw in Sochi was clearly a disgrace, what happened there at those games by the host nation, and I'm delighted that the IOC has come out with such a strong response.
The ban has fueled speculation that Moscow could instruct its athletes to boycott the games altogether, thus rejecting the compromise solution. However, IOC President Bach said an Olympic boycott has never achieved anything, insisting that given the window left open for clean athletes to compete, a boycott was also unwarranted. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
In cricket, the third and final test between India and Sri Lanka ended in a draw. India, however, won the three-match series test 1-0. Dhananjay De Silva scored a century that helped Lanka to end the final match in a draw. De Silva scored 119 runs before getting retired hurt. Thereafter, Roshan Silva and Niroshan Dickwella batted till the end, with Roshan scoring 74 not out and Dickwella scored 44. The Lankans started the day with 7 wickets in hand and a whole day to bat. Ravindra Jadeja dismissed Angelo Matthews early in the day. After lunch, Ravichandran Ashwin then got skipper Dinesh Chandimal on 36 runs. But the Lankans managed to score 299 runs for the loss of 5 wickets to end the game in a draw. And here are more updates from the world of sports in Sports Beat. India won the first ever South Asian Regional Badminton Team Championship in Guwahati. India defeated Nepal 3-0. Ariman Tandon defeated Nepal's Dipesh Dhami 21-9, 21-15 in the boys' singles event. While in the girls' singles event, Ashmita Chaliha beat Rashila Maharjan 21-9, 21-6. In the boys' doubles event, the Indian duo of Arintab Dasgupta and Krishna Prasad defeated Nepal's Dipesh Dhami and Nabin Shresht to seal victory for India. Australia clinched a 120-run victory over England in the second Ashes test on day 5 at Adelaide Oval, taking the lead 2-0. The bowlers changed the game for Australia after they failed to enforce a follow-on. Nathan Lyon picked 4 wickets while Mike Mitchell-Starc picked 3. Chasing a target of 345 runs, England's captain Joe Root top-scored with 67 runs, while the last 6 wickets fell for just 57 runs. Chelsea surrendered its top spot in the Champions League Group C after they drew 1-1 at home against Atletico Madrid. Chelsea, who had already secured their place in the knockout phase, finished second in the group behind AS Roma. Saul Niguez scored the opener in the 56th minute to give Atletico a 1-0 lead over Chelsea, but a goal in the 75th minute by Atletico defender Stefan Savic equalized the score, making it 1-1. That's it on the news at 6. Thanks for joining us.